So I have my first test instance over here, and it's pretty good. This is a valid thing to test. But I might want to be able to test some more. So what I'm now interested in doing is making this conversation a little bit longer and also detecting some entities. Because right now I'm only checking for intents. So one thing that I might be interested in is I might be interested in looking at something. So I can say, hey, could you look at the window? And then the window in this particular case is an object that I would like to detect as well. I can use the same syntax as I'm used to in my NLU file right over here. And in this case, as a response, we should get something like action look. That's the action that should trigger at this particular point in time. And we see no errors. If I were to now remove this entity notation, I can run this again, but now we should see that there actually is an error. And there we go, error. Now we do see some useful information. We see that in this particular case, it's the window that's detected, and that it's of this entity type. So I'll just be putting that back in here now. But I hope it's clear that we can also totally have some tests for entities as well. And I'll just add a bunch more now. So there's a bunch of things that I've done. I've added a couple more entities and intents that it has to detect, so that's definitely in here. You can also see that there are these extra actions that need to be triggered. But one thing that you might have noticed is that I also now manually set these slots over here. The reason why I'm doing it is because technically later on, I might be doing something that needs a slot, but while the tests are running for this entire story path, the action server typically isn't running. And that is why manually, you sometimes have to set these slots yourself, mocking the behavior of the custom action that's behind it. It's a bit of a detail now because we're not directly using this, but just while keeping an eye on the future, I figured it'd be good to just put that in here. All in all, I would say that this looks like a pretty valid test case, and what I can just do for good measure is just run this to see if everything passes. This all looks good. The tests have passed here, so far so good. The only thing now that I would like to add to my stack is that I would like to automate this in a way. Right now, I still have to manually run this test command if I want all of these tests to run. And instead, it might be nice if every time that someone makes a commit or a pull request on GitHub, that this runs automatically so that we can prevent a bad PR from getting merged.